In this video, I'm going to be repairing some holes in my vinyl siding. The first thing I'm going to do is actually make some holes in my vinyl siding by removing this old satellite dish. Obviously, these were hugely popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, but are totally useless now. So, sayonara. There's the dish gone, and now I'm going to remove the 4 leg bolts that hold the mounting plate against the vinyl siding. And as you can see, they're covered with some old silicone or something, so I'll have to tear that off and then just use the ratchet to remove the mounting bracket. So not much to see there. Just so I don't rip off the vinyl siding, I kind of use a putty knife and just sort of scrape it a little bit, and then the mounting bracket comes right off. And we'll just toss that away too. So in order to get the new silicone on, I'm definitely going to clean up a little bit, just so it has some fresh surface to stick to, as opposed to this old silicone or whatever this caulking they've used is. Basically, the cleaner the better. And just to make sure all the dust and grime is off as well, I'll just use some soap and water, spray that down, and then quick wipe with the paper towel to ensure that all the crud that is built up since 1988 is off the side of the house. Now, some of the discoloration from the old silicone or caulking that they use is going to have to stay there until later, but I can also clean that up at a later time. Not a big deal right now. Definitely you want to fill those holes to make sure that there's no bugs or other little creatures that get in. Now, to fill the holes, I'm using an acrylic latex caulking with silicone, and I've got this almond color to match the siding. Not too difficult, just put the end of the caulking tube in there, give it a squeeze, make sure the hole's completely filled up, and then keep squeezing while I back out the caulking gun so that the hole gets overfilled by a little bit. After I've filled all the holes, I'm going to come around with a putty knife and some paper towel and just make sure that everything is cleaned up and make sure that there's no silicone hanging out where it was injected. So like I said, just a tiny little putty knife for these kind of holes. Smooth it off. I don't want to make it completely flat to the wall because it will shrink a little bit, even though it says it's non-shrinking. I think you'll find that it does sort of suck itself back into the wall. Once you've given it about 24 hours to dry, it's also a good idea to come back around and check it out and make sure that none of it cracked or sucked into the hole too far. Basically, you want it at least flush to the vinyl siding that you're working with. And then, like I said, I'll just take a piece of paper towel and clean up around the holes. And there you go, completely filled in. And looking from the bottom, you can't really tell on the camera. Definitely the old silicone marks are visible, but the 4 little holes that I filled are not visible from the ground. And last thing to do is take this old satellite dish and toss it into this dumpster I rented to clean out the previous owner's stuff. And as you can see, they left about 17 cubic meters of garbage in the house for me to deal with. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.